Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back. Last year we built a server with Proxmox and then we built a VM with EVE-NG. A few people in the comments had said that they don't have hardware at home to install EVE-NG in it, so today we are going to use Google Cloud and we're going to build an EVE-NG VM. Let's take a look at the Community Edition cookbook that's available on the EVE-NG website. On page 33, you will find all of the instructions to build EVE-NG on Google Cloud. Before we start building anything, there's two things that you need to do. First of all, create a brand new Gmail account. Just go to gmail.com, set up a new account, and then once that's done, go to console.cloud.google.com. That will take you to the GCP console homepage. Follow through that process to set up your new Google Cloud account. Now, as part of the setup, there is a big blue button that says free $300 credits. Click that button, follow through the process, put in your payment details, and that way you're going to get $300 free credits to play around in Google Cloud. Once you have those done, then you will see this page here. This is the home page for Google Cloud. There is a few things that I'm going to do here first, okay? So I'm just going to click on this button on the top right hand corner to activate the Cloud Shell. Let's open up that. Okay, so you can see that is done. Now that that's done, I'm just going to click up here to the top right hand corner. I'm going to click those three bars. I'm going to go down to Compute Engine and I'm going to click on VM Instances. The first time you click on this, it is going to bring up a pop-up to activate this. So let's just do that now. So you want to enable that. Okay, so that is done. That can take a few minutes, so whenever you're doing this for the first time. Before we actually go and start building the VM, let's quickly go back to the EVE-NG cookbook and we'll have a look at the instructions. So here, as you can see on page 33, this is where it starts. We go down through the process. In GCP, we open up the Cloud Shell and we run this command to download the image that we need. I would suggest whenever you copy this command, copy it to a notepad first and then copy from the notepad to GCP. Sometimes whenever you just copy straight from here into GCP, it does fail because the spaces and dashes are missing, so make sure you copy it to a notepad first. But after this, we then run down through the process of building the actual VM. Now there is a standard image that we can use as part of the build, but depending on what you want to use this for and how much labs you want to build, then you may need to change the the number of CPUs, the memory, and sort of the disk space that you need. We go further on down and we basically change the boot disk to use the image that we've just used the Cloud Shell to go and get. Then we allow HTTP traffic, and the last thing we need to do is just to configure some firewall rules, and that's pretty much it. So let's go back to the top. I'm going to copy this command. I already have it copied here, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back to GCP and then I'm going to click on this Cloud Shell again to open that. So once that has opened, just right click and paste, and then we're going to hit enter to run the command. Okay, so that is done. As you can see, it says status is ready, so we can now close the Cloud Shell. So click on that. Then we're going to go to the Compute Engine. If you're not already there, just click on the little hamburger thing at the top and just go into Compute Engine here and open up the VM instances. So whenever we are here, all we have to do is click on this Create Instance. I'm going to give this a name, so I'm just going to call mine EVE-NG v6. I'm going to choose the region, so choose one that's actually closest to you. For me, that is going to be London. Zone can be any, that's fine. For the machine configuration, you need to choose the N2. This one is needed. We're going to have to set up nested virtualization, so this is the one you need. For machine type, again, this is all going to be based on your own use case and how much you actually want to use this server and what type of labs you want to build. Now bear in mind, EVE-NG is a bit of a beast. It does require a decent amount of storage and vPCU and RAM, and the further you go down this list, the more expensive the machine is going to get. In the instructions, it suggests that we choose this 8 vCPU 4-core with 32 gig of RAM. Now if I click on that, as you can see, that is coming in around $293.49 US. So it's a decent amount of money for paying it every month. For this lab, I'm just going to switch this down. I'm just going to choose the basic one because I have my server running local anyway. So choose that one. We're going to move further on down, and under the boot disk, as you can see here, we're going to click on change, and we're going to go to custom images, and we're going to choose the image that we just downloaded. So the nested Ubuntu Jammy, that's the one. Then under boot disk type, Again, this is all going to be based on your own needs. The instructions suggest that we have to use this SSD persistence disk. That's what I'm just going to follow. Click on that one. Size type, you can, again, you'd probably want to be choosing at least like, I say about 150 gig here for this. 10 is fine. I'm not really going to use this, so I'm just going to leave that as 10 for now. Click on select. Under firewall, you need to click on this button for allow HTTP traffic, and that is pretty much it. So let's go back and review what we have. So the name, the region is going to be London for me. The machine configuration is going to be N2. The machine type, I have chose this one, but again, choose whatever you need. Moving further down, under boot disk, you need to make sure that you have the image under custom images selected, the boot disk type, the size of the disk that you want, and let's go further down. You need to have the allow HTTP firewall tick enable, and then all you have to do is click on create. So that's going to go out and build that VM. This can take a few minutes. Now, once that VM is built, we do have to SSH into the VM and sort of make some changes. I am actually just going to click in here first, and I want to make the firewall changes now because it's just easier to do all of this bit now. So once you click into the machine, move further down, and you will see under network interfaces, you can see that the nickname on the network is using is the default network. So I'm going to click in here, and what we need to do is we need to allow this particular VM to connect out to everything on all ports and allow us to connect in on all ports. Now, I know that sounds actually insane. It just means that there's going to be no messing around with the ports and stuff. You're not going to run into any problems at all. It's going to be the easiest thing that you can do. But just remember, if you build more VMs and you attach that VM to this default network, they're going to still have these same rules. So my advice to you is only use this my first project for this particular EVE-NG VM. If you want to build anything else in Google Cloud, just create a separate project. If you do have a public IP, a dedicated public IP for your internet at home or an office or something, then you can lock it down so only you can access this VM. That's something I would probably do. But anyway, for now, we're just going to create the firewall rules that we need. So click on firewalls, and as you can see underneath this here, we're going to toggle this down. You can see all of the rules. So I am just going to click on add firewall rule. So I'm going to call this rule EVE-NG egress. I'm going to leave the logs turned off. For the direction of traffic, I'm going to set this as egress. Action on match is allow. For targets, I'm going to change this to all instances in the network. I'm going to set the destination address to 0.0.0/0. I'm going to switch the protocols and ports to allow all. And then I'm going to click on create. So let's add another rule for the ingress traffic. So click on add firewall rule. I'm going to call this one EVE-NG ingress. And again, the logs is turned off. The direction of traffic is ingress. Action on match is allow. Targets, we're going to set this to all instances in the network. And again, just put in the source IP as 0.0.0.0/0. And for protocols and ports, change that to allow all and click on create. So you can see both rules is here. Let's go back to the VM. So VM instances. So whenever we're here, we're going to click on SSH to connect to the server and run some commands. This will open a new pop-up window for SSH. The next thing we need to do is elevate ourselves to root. So do sudo -i. Now we need to go out to the EVE-NG website to pull down the image. I'll put all the links and these commands in the description below so you can easily follow. So run that. Whenever that's done, just type in apt update. That again is going to run through some stuff. And then you want to do apt upgrade. Oh my god, what's going on? Then you want to do apt upgrade. Hit Y for yes and let that go and do its stuff. So whenever that's done, we have to reboot the server. So we'll just type in reboot. So give that a few more minutes, and once that has come back online, just click on retry and that will reconnect to that VM. Click on authorize again. And as you can see, we are at the setup wizard for EVE-NG. Now, before you do anything here, there is an important step. You need to click on Control and C, and within here, you need to elevate yourself to root again. So type in sudo -i, hit enter. and then continue on with the wizard. So let's go to that. So the root password is Eve, then type it again. Then it's going to ask you for the host name. I just leave everything as default. Whenever it asks you for this bit around the network setup, you need to make sure this is set to DHCP. So just click on OK, continue through the process. Direct connection is fine. Once that's done, that's going to go through the wizard and just complete the build. So that's going to reboot again. You can now close your SSH window. We're not going to need this again for a second. So click on that. So once the VM has rebooted, go back here to the VM page and you will find your external IP. So you want to click on this. That will open up this in a new tab. So the default login for EveNG is admin and the password is Eve. You can choose which console you want. I always choose HTML5. Let's create a brand new lab just as a test and make sure we can actually connect everything. So click on save. So within here, we're going to add a new node. Now remember, you won't have any images in here. You will need to open up something like an SCP server and connect to this and copy all your images across. So let's just test that we can open up some of these nodes. So click on virtual PC and just click on save. I'm going to start that and just click on this and see if this will actually open. It should open up in whatever you're using for your terminal. This is opening up in a new tab because I have Chrome in guest mode, but this would normally open up in iTerm for me or PuTTY whenever I'm using my Windows machine. Now, before we finish off, there's a few things. Make sure that you shut down the VM whenever you're not using it. That way you're not incurring costs. So that's easy to do. Just go back into VM instances and click on stop. So I'm going to stop this. If you're not using this VM at all, you don't need it anymore, like I don't, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete everything that I've just created. To delete the VM, again, all you have to do is click on delete. There is a few other things that you want to delete as well. So if you go down to images down here at the bottom, you do incur costs for storing images in here. So we need to delete that image we used, the Cloud Shell at the start to download. So click on that and just click on delete and delete that one as well. Once that is done, it's one thing I do like to do is now that we have cleaned that up and we have this account, I'm going to go back and just delete those 2 firewall rules that I created, because the next time I use this particular project or account, then I'm not going to remember that I created those rules, and the servers that I build are going to have full access to do whatever they want. So let's go back and clean those 2 rules up. So select those ones and delete again. So that's it. That's how you will get EveNG up and going in Google Cloud. If you have any questions or anything, then drop them in the comment box below. Again, if you like the video, then click subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff. If you want to follow the process to build EveNG on-premise on your own VM, even on your own laptop using VMware, then follow this video. This is the instructions that you will need to follow.